Welcome to Gafferpedia.
Welcome back, Linton.
Welcome back, John. Welcome to our wrap-up of Season 1.
It has been a wild ride.
It has. So this will be episode 13, technically. We've had
Lucky 13.
Lucky 13. We've had 12 great episodes. And we had never really planned how this would work, I suppose. But it seems like a really good opportunity now to have a little bit of a break over June. It is winter. It is getting incredibly cold in the warehouse.
It is. But we've had some great guests on it. We had no idea how this was going to go when we got started.
We didn't.
We thought we had an idea. There's not an AV podcast out there or that we really knew of, especially not in Australia. We thought there's got to be a bunch of stories out there that we can tell and some interesting people, and we just went about it. And I'm really happy with how it's gone.
It's been fantastic. We've had some great responses. I get feedback all the time from different ways, phone calls. I've even had a bit of career advice asked upon me and all sorts of things. So it's been awesome.
That's been a really good part of it, just whether it's through Instagram or whatever, just these messages or even text messages from people we know but haven't heard of for a while, just saying, oh, awesome, love that episode about, whatever it was. Yeah, exactly. Obviously, there's people out there listening, want to hear from other people in the industry.
Definitely. It's been some real highlights for me. But I do want a big shout out, obviously, to everyone who's listened.
Definitely.
All of our listeners. And then it's been a growing audience, which is great. And to our awesome guests that we've had.
Yeah, especially as you were mentioning earlier, people that there was no podcast and you've just asked people to come on.
Yeah, our first three were true guinea pigs. We hadn't even gone to air, gone live, and they just did it sight unseen, which was great, which was Andrew Gill, Stav from Pro Light and Sound, and Kieran on the freelancing topic. So that was all before anyone had ever heard of Gafferpedia. So
a lot of trust there, a lot of trust.
Absolutely. And Stav's was one of my highlights, I think because I really felt something for that episode. Yeah,
definitely.
It's very emotional, journey.
And it was interesting for me because I didn't know Stav before that and never really heard about what had happened. Yeah. But definitely just good to hear about the journey and just sort of how everyone rallied around him and all that kind of thing. And that, again, just shows that, it's a really good industry we've got here.
Yes.
And a lot of people looking to help each other out.
Definitely. Yeah. And what other highlights for you?
Well, we've interviewed a lot of business owners this season, and that's been really cool just to see all the different perspectives. Obviously, we had Linton recently, who was talking about his approach, very data-driven, and just having those processes set up so that you can actually look at the hard data and not have to just sort of rely on memory, which can sort of be a bit here and there. So just relying on that data about sort of what to purchase, what to push ahead with. And just the fact that, when you look at that data, you can know what you need to invest in. And then once you've got it, because you have it, you seem to sell it more. So it even works, it doubles down on that side of it. And then we had Keith, who was looking at it more from a producer side, where he didn't necessarily want to own that much gear because he wanted to treat each show independently and get the right gear for that particular show, not be locked into what you already have. But then you don't necessarily have the rental income and this and that. So there's the two different perspectives there.
Definitely.
Both very valid, different ways of approaching what they need to do. And then Ed, who we just had on, kind of somewhere in the middle, it seems, where it's like he's looking at it from a very producer point of view.
But still being an pure AV rental company sort of.
Yeah. Well, the thing that really resonated with me was that in order to really come to grips with what's possible, he invested in that media server side of things. So he's buying that so that he can really explore it and see what's possible and what you can do with it. And so that's almost like a third perspective. So it's just really cool to see how everyone approaches things and how you can utilize that. And that's what's a big thing that I got out of those ones.
I really liked the Keith episode because we got to do it outside. That was great to do.
That was a funny one. In MCEC, just by the seat of our pants, just figure it out as we go along.
Definitely. And to me, I really liked the Spencer episode. Just been, I guess, as a parent of a young man similar age, Maybe just because I had that sort of parental sort of father-y thing going on, but I just really was inspired and really admired what he's done in such a short period of time and where he's come from.
Yeah, definitely.
So that was a...
and a lot of people can get a lot from that. Well, just before when I mentioned the business owners, it was... we had Ray on as well, and that was like coming at it from the other angle of just the relationships and the networking side of it. And I think Dino touched on that as well. Yeah. And it's been really well rounded from that point of view. Yeah. And Spence as well, like, was talking about that, how important networking is. Yes. And so that's, you're getting like a younger person's perspective, and then someone who's been in the industry for forever. Yeah. It's just been really cool. There's been a few themes like that about networking and that kind of thing that keep popping up.
Definitely. My all-time favourite, though, I guess it is the namesake, and it is what I always wanted Gafferpedia to be about. It's our episode with Colin.
We did branch out from the original vision, but
I had quite a few phone calls after that episode from people saying, I can't believe I've just listened to like 45 minutes about gaffer tape. It was awesome.
It's deep. It's way deeper than I thought it was. Yeah. Because obviously you kind of had a bit of a background on it already, but I was just like, I've used this stuff for 20 years. Yeah. But I've never thought about it all that hard. It's like it either sticks or it doesn't stick or anything, but it goes deep. And now I've actually got a lot out of that episode.
Well, it's a different level of appreciation.
Well, now I've got a few. I don't just have the one. I've got a few different ones at home for different jobs, for the different applications, which everyone just thought gaff was gaff, but it's not.
I just love the pure science of that episode, and I mean, it was very Mythbusters-y, or one of those kind of other sorts of podcasts, I suppose, but it was just really good fun to get in and hear. And he's so knowledgeable about the topic.
Oh, definitely. You could have had a whole season about gaffer tape, I reckon.
The longevity of it, maybe not forever, but yes, that's I guess always the hope. So so we're gonna have a bit of a break for June.
Yeah. I did want to just touch on a couple of others before we move on. I did mention about the business owner side of things, but we also had you mentioned Kieran and Lockie on, which from that freelancer point of view. Yeah. And what I really liked about that was that they're kind of building that work-life balance and that job for themselves, and sort of really having a clear idea about what they want to do. And it's all about kind of doing more of what you want to do, a bit less of what you don't as you go along. Like Lockie always had that goal of getting into rock and roll, but then recognizing having that corporate to balance it out is really cool, because if it's all just rock and roll and crazy, that could get a bit tiring. So, and I know Kieran was talking about also prioritizing that time with family and making time for that, and making work fit in with all of that. So it was really cool to see just how they could go about that, and other freelancers out there will be able to take something from that.
A large chunk of our audience, I suspect, that we don't have the data on what people do. We just know what country they're listening in from, and what sort of what device they're listening.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you were mentioning we want to get a bit more of that, right?
We do. But just, I guess, to clear, if anyone's wondering, was this the end of Gafferpedia? No, it's not. No. We're having a break for June. There's a purely logistical reason, actually, because I'm in the process of moving.
Yeah, you wouldn't tell. You look behind us now if you're watching on YouTube, which you can watch on YouTube, by the way.
Exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen. But it looks just normal on this end. But if we were looking
down that way, it's almost empty. And that half of the building was normally tech box, and this half was AV hire. So in the process of moving into two separate buildings. So tech box has mostly moved, AV hire to move next week. So we're going to have a bit of a rest for a month while I rejig the warehouses.
Sounds busy to me.
Yeah. And when we come back, we will be in new digs, but we actually would like to do, now's the right place to maybe announce it, but we're going to do a series of episodes recorded at venues with in-house AV companies, hoping to do one with Encore at the new Centrepiece, which is at the tennis centre where they do the Australian Open. Hopefully Scene Change, who are moving into the Melbourne Town Hall. Do you know at either the Ridges or the Intercontinental, one of his properties?
Yeah. There's definitely a few out there.
There is. And then hopefully, if all things go well, we can do Ozstage at Federation Square.
Yeah, well, we're just going to get out there and ask the question, find out, like, there's so many different venues out there, so many different ways of doing things as well.
They're all different, and they have different properties and they're unique, and particularly the ones that are not your traditional 5-star hotel model. Federation Square is like a cultural icon centre. Was formerly our town hall, our town square, essentially, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Melbourne Town Hall's a heritage listed Federation building. It has some unique problems.
Yeah, and I was in there for a year back in the day. So yeah, that'd be a very interesting one to do.
And every one of these places have a different take on how it works. They have different masters they work for, different catering companies or hotels, and a whole bunch of different demands and restrictions and unique properties. So
that'll be fun, out and about. Yeah. It was so much. It was, as you're saying, the Keith one was a bit of fun. So just break out and see what's going on around town.
And then hopefully by that stage we'll be back in the new digs and we'll be back in our new studio / warehouse.
Yeah.
And obviously we'll be opening a whole new season for the rest of this year with just more guests, more of the same, more great fun, more topics. We are asking people to, or like people to, obviously, to use our website to reach out if they've got an idea, someone they want to speak to, want to hear from.
Gafferpedia.com.au, you can get on there, and there is a contact page now available.
Yes.
If you've got an idea for an episode, if you've got some comments on past episodes, you can do that there. Absolutely. Or on the YouTube channel as well. Perfect place for that. Instagram, reach out to us, send us a message.
Yep.
I believe you had an idea to maybe kick things off to get a bit of feedback.
I do. I was at an event and I heard some music played that I haven't heard for a long time, and it brought back some terrible PTSD. I'm talking stuff that was very heavily used background music and walk-up stings in my era as an audiovisual technician, and I am talking late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
And if I ever hear Eye of the Tiger one more time, I seriously think I'm going to kill someone. But it's in my time, we got to hear these songs obviously every day, all day. So it was either Simply the Best by if it was an awards night or that sort of
thing.
And Eye of the Tiger if it was some sort of motivational speaker, and you just could hear these songs 4 times a day.
Well, I can only imagine, because when I started, which was early 2000 or early mid 2000s, they were still playing Eye of the Tiger. So that's
it's hard to believe that they don't do it now, do they?
I don't know. Surely call in and write in and tell us if they're still playing Eye of the Tiger at awards nights.
So what we want to talk about, obviously, just going forward as a bit of a cliffhanger, I suppose, over the break, but also just to keep talking about in the next season, and it's going to be a bit of an ongoing thread. Is I just want to know, what's your worst walk-up sting / background music track? What have you heard to death?
Let us know.
What is your?
Because mine. Well. See, this is the funny thing, because when these businesses that have an awards night, they have like an awards night like once a year maybe.
Yes.
So for them, it's like, oh, cool, yeah. It's the first time they've played that song. That seems to suit the mood. But us every week.
That's right.
It's this same thing over and over. So around that time that I probably started, what are we talking, like 2005 and a little bit onwards, it was just like, all right, you have an awards night and it's the winner of regional sales award for Q3 is Aubrey Wodonga. It's like, I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be every night's a good night, right? When it's Black Eyed Peas.
Yep.
So that was done to death. Pretty much everything off that Black Eyed Peas album was just that thing where you just heard it, you just wanted to die inside.
But as you say, it is their Super Bowl, isn't it? So it's their big moment.
And it's like the song of the moment. So they've only heard it that once, but they don't realise.
No.
They don't realise what they're doing to us. And
I'm really curious to know, what is this year's, or what was last year's?
Well, that's it. I don't do many award shows these days. So I want to know as well I'm trying to see if there's Uptown Funk. Bruno Mars, I think, is a more recent one that just got done to death.
Yep.
Uptown Funk, definitely.
Yeah. So send it in.
Let us know.
Contact us. Let's get a bit of a poll, or let's try and work out. Because clearly it's a generational thing. So I mean,
yeah, I think so. I mean, Eye of the Tiger, it spans generations, as we've seen.
Yep.
Actually, I asked my wife this question, and because she goes to a lot of events, doesn't do as many events as we would do, but her one was things can only get better.
Yeah.
It's like that real motivational.
Yes.
Come on, guys, let's beat the budgets from last month. Yeah, things. Yeah. Anyway, you know how it is. They all think they're so original, but it's.
Maybe we could put together a Spotify playlist.
That's a great idea. Yeah. Gafferpedia, done to death.
Cup songs.
All right, actually, let's set that up. All right, let's do that, and we'll push out on social media how maybe we can. I'm pretty sure you can allow people to add to it.
I believe.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
All right, I think that'll be good. So when you're feeling like torturing yourself, you can chuck that on.
I said, it gives me shivers to hear those songs. We particularly, I was working in Sydney in the late 80s, and so the rugby league used Tina Turner.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And it was everywhere. And
Yeah. I'm imagining. Can I throw some? I'm thinking back to that time. Was there a lot of The Voice? Was there a lot of John Farnham?
There was. This is where actually this is what triggered this for me. I heard some Johnny Farnham played, and yes, it was. Yes, yeah. There was a few of his tracks. I don't know them, not really my thing. And Daryl Braithwaite's Horses.
Oh, well, that's the
Which is a cover version anyway.
Oh, is it?
I didn't know that. But
Neither did I. But
Ricky Lee Jones originally.
Okay, because that's the races. Is it not the Melbourne Cup? There's
Football loves.
Oh, the football loves it. But there's one race at Flemington every year where he goes there and performs it every single year, and it's the thing. I don't know if it's Derby Day or Cup Day. It's
right.
One of those days.
Yeah. Mark Seymour's or Hutton Collectors, Holy Grail for AFL.
Yeah,
similar.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So that's like the other angle. We were thinking of like the walk-up stings and award stings, but then there's these just iconic kind of Aussie classics, basically, aren't they? That just come out at
for certain
the
things.
big sporting. And still, like from when they were released, I think that was probably the case. And then now they still come out decades later and do it as well. I wonder if there's any new stuff that's actually getting that kind of.
Well, that's a good point, especially with football. But they always seem to just go back to the same old.
It's always up there, Kazali on grand final day and all that.
There's nothing new.
Anyway,
so we'll get onto the playlist. Let's do that.
We'll push it out on social media, so it'll be really easy. But just let us know what are your highlights from this season?
Yes.
Let us know. Keep an eye out on social media because we haven't been doing a lot, but I really want to push out some clips from the episodes we have done over the next few weeks. So keep an eye out there. The episodes don't get old. They're just stories from the industry. So get back and if they remind you of anything, to jump back and have a listen, get involved and revisit those. And
and follow, support. But certainly contact us, get in touch. But definitely, on YouTube, on the website. The website has links to YouTube, and obviously you can listen to the episodes, so you can watch them on the website as well.
Yeah.
And we will be back in July. We'll announce through socials the exact date and time, but it should go back to the normal format of every second Wednesday. And we'll go right through to the end of the year with just more Gafferpedia.
That's it. More fun episodes. I have to say, my most fun laugh out loud episode today was the first one with Andrew. That got it going off to a good start.
It did.
It was just a lot of fun hearing all those old stories from. Sometimes things going wrong and things.
Well, that was our very first.
Yeah, it was the very first, it was a fun way to start it off.
Yeah, it was. So again, thank you to everybody for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you for all our guests, which have been awesome. And there was a whole bunch of people that we've still got episodes to record, which we've already spoken to, and we'll be getting to that soon. And we'll see you. You'll see you in July.
Yeah.
And we'll see everybody soon.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thank you. See you then.
See ya. Gafferpedia is brought to you by TechBox, Hippo Event Technology, AV Hire, and Cardigan Creative. Catch you on the next episode.